So hello guys, welcome to this video. Mm, so today what we'll be discussing is the different aspects of blockchain. What exactly is a blockchain structure when it comes to crypto? Why does it? If you've seen the previous videos, you would have had an idea. Sort of like a blockchain is basically something that runs on multiple computers. So how is this whole crypto ecosystem coming into the picture? What are all of these cryptocurrencies that are out there? How do they work? Why are they even sustainable? How are they even sustainable and all that, right? So we'll dig deeper into that today, though not too much. We'll just have a look at everything. Now, some people said that they didn't understand a few previous videos and they didn't understand consensus pretty well. They didn't understand the concept of blockchain all that well. So I'll do something. I'll link a few articles down in the description. If you want, you can have a look, or else you can just go ahead watching this video. All right. Now, so what are the different aspects of a blockchain? Now let's explore the blockchain ecosystems that are out there, right? You would have heard of a lot of cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Avalanche. Like these coins are in the news right now: Avalanche, Cardano, and Solana. And there are a lot of other coins as well. There are coins specifically for NFTs. There are ecosystems built specifically for specific purposes. Correct. Now, if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, it's all right. We'll go step by step. Okay. Now, see, for a currency to exist, for money to exist, basically there has to be a transaction of value, correct? Transaction of value meaning I give you something and you give me money in return, right? Or you give me something, I give you money, right? Or you want something, we both want the same thing, so whoever gives greater money to the person who has whatever we want is, I mean, that's basically how money works. It is transaction of value. You give me money, I give you whatever you want, or that's how pretty much how it works, correct? Now the same thing happens on the blockchain. Say for the Ethereum blockchain, if you've heard of Ethereum, then you would have heard of various, you would have heard that these applications are being built on Ethereum, or Ethereum is being used for this, or there are miners and there are users, developers, and all that. So how does all of this work is what we are going to explain today. So by the end of the video, I hope, my goal at least with this video is that you get a brief understanding of an intrinsic sort of value that is attached with each of these coins and each of these ecosystems. Okay. So when you say that there is a company, that there are shares of companies or stocks of company, then there is something called as intrinsic value, correct? There is fundamentals. There you have revenue generated, you have profits, you have EBITDA, you have a lot of other things. You have ratios that you look at, and these fundamental things are are things that you look at before you want to invest or buy a share for the long term. So similarly, there are fundamental things that you have to look at even when you decide to invest into a cryptocurrency. So today we are going to be exploring that. What are those fundamental aspects? What are those things that make a cryptocurrency secure? What are those things that create demand for a particular currency? Okay. So let's get started. So basically, when you take the Ethereum blockchain, right? We'll take Ethereum because it's sort of popular, and also it can be explained pretty much, I mean, pretty well. So let's take Ethereum for example. With Ethereum, what happens is, first the blockchain needs to be created. The Ethereum blockchain itself has to exist, correct? Now it's pretty much like internet. So if internet has to exist, somebody has to create the internet and they have to host it on, so that computers can host the internet, computers can talk to each other. All right, let's not get into the tech behind that. If you want, you can look it up online. There are a lot of articles, a lot of videos that teach you how internet even came into existence, how a blockchain can be created, and how it can be hosted and all that. So what we're going to look at in this video is only the steps or the various aspects of a blockchain. So the first aspect, as we said, is creators. Somebody has to create a blockchain firstly for it to exist, correct? Now the second thing is developers. Now, what good is a blockchain if nobody is ever going to use it? What good is the internet is if nobody ever uses the internet, correct? Now with blockchain, it's slightly different. You can't directly use a blockchain. I mean, you can use a blockchain, but developers exist on blockchains. You can either use the blockchain itself to send transactions, but what happens is that due to high volume on the blockchain, due to already a base layer existing, that the blockchain exists, right? So that is sort of like a base layer. Think of it as a system. Think of it as say an operating system. Think of the blockchain as an operating system that exists on your computer. Okay, now these developers come and they build applications that run on your operating system. Say if you have windows on your PC or on your laptop, then you have a lot of applications, right, built by Microsoft built the OS and also built applications as well. Say they have Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and they have Microsoft App Store as well. So all of these different applications exist, correct? So this work is done by developers even in the blockchain ecosystem. So firstly, a blockchain exists, which is analogous to the operating system of your PC, and then developers come and they build apps. These are called decentralized applications because blockchains, public blockchains like Ethereum, are decentralized blockchains. So these are called dApps in short. So decentralized applications are built by developers on these base layers that are analogous to OS. Okay, so these are called dApps that are built. Now, what good are these dApps if nobody uses it? Correct. So then users come into the picture. Now, why do users use these dApps? That is a whole different question altogether. There are certain advantages. Say there is privacy. You don't have to have, like, you don't need any KYC to use these dApps. You don't need to reveal your identity, correct? And I mean, it's not centralized. Google is not looking at what you're doing. Nobody is looking at what you're doing because nobody knows who is operating from your IP, or they can't even track anything. So it's advantageous that way. So users come into the picture next. They use these dApps, all right? So that is now we're sort of seeing an economy coming into the picture, correct? So next, miners. What do miners do? We have gone over miners, the concept of miners in one of our previous videos, but I'll brush up on the topic. So, for all of this to exist, somebody has to maintain it, correct? The creator does not maintain it. In case of the internet, you may have seen like infrastructure that has been set up to maintain the internet. There are cables running on the ocean floor, there are towers, and there are huge buildings where servers are kept, and all these cross connections are made from different servers so that the information is sent seamlessly, correct? Now, even for these blockchains to exist, we need infrastructure, and the people who maintain these infrastructures are called miners. Okay, so these miners basically have these huge servers, and they maintain the system in general. So they make sure that everything is in place, everything that has happened on the blockchain, the history of the blockchain is maintained, and also the authenticity of the blockchain is also maintained, so that there's no fraud, so that everybody is able to use the blockchain 24/7. The blockchain needs to be running 24/7 for that. All right, so these miners maintain all of these, and they make sure that everything is in place so that people are able to use it and developers are able to build on top of these blockchains. Okay, now, the third thing is governors or members. Now, see, we've covered the top four members of the blockchain ecosystem. Now, when we come to the fifth one, governors or members, these things, they need not be exclusive. I mean, all of these things, they are, a creator can also be a developer. A developer can also be a user. A user can also be a miner, correct? A miner can be the creator himself or herself, whatever. So I mean, you there are all of these roles, but one person can have multiple roles. It's completely decentralized. It's not like if I'm a creator, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't develop on my own blockchain. I can. Yeah, if I'm the creator of a blockchain, it does not mean that I should not use my own blockchain. I can use it, correct? Now, similarly, governors or members come into the picture. So what these people do is, see, you have all of these four people: creators, developers, users, and miners. All of these people are involved in the infrastructure maintenance and using of the blockchain and all of this, right? Development on the blockchain, all of this stuff. So governors and members, these are people who decide what has to be done with the blockchain in the first place. Okay, but these governors and members, they don't come into the picture with a base layer like Ethereum. Okay, they come into the picture with decentralized apps. So when you have a dApp that is built, and if you have governance tokens of the dApp, I mean, they come into the picture even with base layer. I think the governance tokens exist, and yeah, So I'll link a few articles. It is a bit complex. I can't explain it. It can't be simplified. But basically, how it works is, if there is a base layer or if there is a blockchain that exists, what has to be done with the blockchain? What sort of decisions need to be taken? See, there's no middle management here. So everybody has to come together and they have to decide something. So everybody who holds the governance tokens of the blockchain are called members or governors of the blockchain. I'll come to the governance token part next. But what you have to keep in mind is, for all of this to exist, somebody needs to keep making the decisions. If there is a company, there is a there is a board of directors, and there is management. There's the CEO or CFO or whatever. So those people, they take decisions on behalf of the company, and they drive the company in a certain direction, correct? And there are customers, but those customers and employees don't do anything. They just work, and they're in that framework. They function inside the framework. But the people who create the framework in the first place, to make sure everything is in place, is the middle management and the upper management, right? And the board of directors. So those people are similar to these governors and members. Sorry, the governors and members are similar to those people, except the fact that there's not a single person like a CEO, or not a single person like a CFO. Everybody takes decisions when in every field. Okay, so if somebody has to take a decision with the expansion of a blockchain, it is voted upon by all the members. Okay, and if somebody has to take a decision based on the finances or the treasury allocation, we'll cover all of these topics. But basically, any decision that needs to be taken for the blockchain or for the ecosystem, with the whole 5 point ecosystem, that needs to be, any decision that needs to be taken that affects any of these people, that is voted upon, and then only the decision is taken. And the people who vote on these things are called governors or members. Okay, you can call them anything, but basically the point is they exist. Okay, so these are the five elements. Very basic explanation, but these are basically the kind of people that exist inside a crypto ecosystem. Okay, they make sure that a blockchain functions, and also they incentivize the developers. The users incentivize developers, correct? Creators incentivize developers. I mean, developers incentivize creators to create blockchains. Users incentivize developers to create apps because they use the apps. And all of these people incentivize miners, because if the miners are just maintaining the infrastructure and there's nobody to use it, then there's no point, correct? And governors and members, they make sure that all of these people are treated well. All of these people are not taken lightly, and they are represented well, and the blockchain moves in a good direction, basically. Now, I didn't speak about cryptocurrencies. All like, while I explained all of this, I did not explain the role of cryptocurrencies, basically, correct? Now, see, all of this is happening. There are people developing, there are people using, there are people maintaining all of this stuff. So there has to be some medium of exchange, correct? Nobody is going to do all of this for free. There, if I'm in the real world, if I need something, I'm going to give you money for you to either do something for me or sell me product or whatever, correct? So here also here also we need cryptocurrency, because there needs to be a certain medium of exchange. I can't send, see, these people, they exist in different parts of the globe. You can't parcel them cash, or you can't, everybody does not have Google Pay, everybody doesn't have what is that, PayPal or whatever you transact through. Okay, so to make things easier, to have a certain medium of exchange, cryptocurrencies come into the picture then, right? This is how everybody is incentivized to contribute positively towards the blockchain ecosystem. Now, miners, I explained how they add blocks to the blockchain, and they are incentivized accordingly. So how are they incentivized? They are incentivized in the native cryptocurrency. If Ethereum is the blockchain, and actually the cryptocurrency name is not called Ethereum, it's called Ether. That is the native token. Okay, so they are, these miners, these Ethereum miners, they are incentivized in Ether currency. So with every block that is added, the miner may get two or three or one ether. Okay, so that is their incentive, and that has certain market value. They can sell those ethers for on an exchange or wherever for a certain amount of money, right? So that is how they are incentivized. Users need to buy cryptocurrencies in order to avail the services of the decentralized applications on the blockchain ecosystem. So, and that is how developers are incentivized. Okay, so when they build a decentralized app on the blockchain, then they mint certain number of tokens. It is called minting. So you create a treasury sort of. It is sort of like a government. If the government has to see, the government prints money, correct? That is how new money enters circulation. So similarly, if creators or developers create a new blockchain or a new app, they mint certain number of currencies, and those currencies are called the native tokens of either that blockchain, if it is a creator who has minted it, or it is called a native token of that decentralized application, okay, if it is being minted by a developer. So these developers mint these tokens, and that is how they decide that, this service on this application is worth these many tokens of this kind. And slowly, if the app starts being used more and more, then the tokens start getting market value, and these developers feel like, it is sort of like an exit. They can literally sell their tokens and then make money. That is basically how they make cash. So it's not like the usual. You don't get shares, you don't get equity. That stuff does not work here. It's basically your bag, it just grows in value, that's all. Now, creators, how see these people are the biggest winners if they have built a good blockchain. So, if you've heard of the Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin, he recently became a billionaire. Okay, so how exactly did he become a billionaire? It's not like he did any business, or it's not like he acquired dApps, or it doesn't work that way. So basically, what he did is he created the Ethereum blockchain in the first place, and he minted certain number of Ethereum tokens, correct, Ether tokens to be precise, right? And what happened is, for these developers to build dApps on top of the Ethereum blockchain, they need to have Ether tokens, and this guy has Ether tokens. So what he's going to do, he's going to say, all right, you take these many Ether tokens for this much value, and you give me cash in return, correct? And these people, these developers see that, okay, this blockchain is it's good for my dApp that I'm building. This blockchain is safe, and it has many built-in, I can call APIs pretty well through this, and all of that stuff, correct? So they decide, okay, it is worth the Ether. I'll take your Ether, I'll pay you some cash, I'll build my app on this, correct? So that's what happens. And with more number of apps on a blockchain, the creator gets richer and richer. That's how it works. It's not like there's no stake. This is not a holding company. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so that is how all of this works. Now, coming to governors or members, so these people also hold native tokens. Okay, so say there is something going on, say there is an app on a blockchain. These people, to have governing powers in the app, on the app, inside the blockchain, they need to have the native tokens that are worth voting power in that app. These are called governance tokens, okay? So when they have their governance tokens, they can say, hey, I have these many governance tokens, so my decision or my vote is worth this much percent, or my vote needs to be given this weightage. So that's how that works. So governors and members, they are incentivized to keep the community growing, and hence they take the right decision because they don't lose their governance tokens. Okay, what happens is, once they've given their vote, then they have their wallet, and it contains a certain number of governance tokens, and hence the protocol can say, yes, this guy has 2x number of tokens than the other guy, so this person's vote needs to be given double the weightage. And that's how that works. Now, how are these people incentivized? If these people hold a certain number of tokens, and if they take the right decisions, then their governance tokens are also worth something in the future, correct? If you drive the company the right way, your shares are worth something in the future, or else it's not worth anything, correct? So similarly, these people have governance tokens, and they say that I'm going to take the right decision, because if I take the right decision now, in the future more developers are going to come onto the platform, more people are going to start using it, and hence my governance tokens are going to be more valuable, because the blockchain itself is going to become more and more valuable. Okay, so that's how this works. That's how this whole ecosystem works. You have a creator who creates a blockchain and mints a few tokens. Say he creates the blockchain Ethereum, and he mints Ether tokens. Now developers come into the picture, and they say that, you know what, I'm going to build something on the Ethereum blockchain, and in exchange I'll need some ether tokens of yours that you have. So I'll give you my money, you give me Ether tokens, and hence I can build apps on the Ethereum blockchain. Now users are going to come into the picture. They're going to say, you know what, I want to use your app, man, and I'll pay you money, and I'll buy some of your tokens so that I can avail your services. and hence you can make cash. You can cash out later because now your tokens are worth something. I'll have to give you some cash to make your tokens worth something, right? In order for me to use the app. So now users come into the picture. Then miners are already there from the get go once the blockchain is deployed, because they have to maintain all of this in the first place for developers to build, for users to use, and all that. So they are rewarded in the native token, even they are getting incentivized. Now, governors or members, these people are also there from the get go because they have to decide the direction in which the blockchain needs to go. So they also hold some tokens, and their tokens are not worth anything maybe right now, but in the future it is maybe going to be worth something. So that is the hope that they have, and that is the hope with which they're going forward with every decision they make, with every vote that they call, and every developer or every dApp that they give attention to. So that is how crypto ties all of this together. This is a whole ecosystem, and the more utility there is for a cryptocurrency, basically that is how the value of a crypto is decided. The only exception is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has, as far as I know, there's not much application. Ethereum is the second most valued, and I think it will flip Bitcoin. But as of now, Bitcoin has not. It doesn't have that much of a utility. It is basically like gold. Okay, gold is only for flexing. Okay, but if you have steel, you can use it for a lot of things, right? But I think the market value of Ethereum is going to go way higher than Bitcoin because it has way more utility and way more apps on the blockchain, way more miners, way more users, way more governance people, and yeah, it's basically a better ecosystem than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has more value right now because it has more number of believers. It is sort of like a cult. Maybe even I'm a part of the cult, but yeah, that's how it has more value right now. But Ethereum basically has more intrinsic value, and it is in it for the long haul. Even Bitcoin is, don't get me wrong, even Bitcoin is going to be there for the long haul, but Bitcoin is more, sort of like an emotion rather than actual utility. But Bitcoin is going to last, even Ethereum is going to last. But if you see the intrinsic value, I think Ethereum has more intrinsic value compared to Bitcoin, even though it is priced lesser. So it is heavily undervalued. If anybody wants to buy, then please buy. You'll not regret it. Okay, so that's basically it. That's how a blockchain works. That's how a decentralized blockchain works. So examples of decentralized blockchains: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, Solana. Right, all of these ecosystems are there. There are tons of ecosystems like this. You can go and explore how much ever you want. And I hope you understood something from this video. This is quite a long video, and if you have any doubts at all, please feel free to leave your doubts in the comments or get in touch. And we can see how it can be explained better. All right. So thank you for watching this video. It's been quite long. So yeah, thank you. See you in the next.